Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today we can discuss again Katichinda Sutta. Okay.
Yes. Already तुम्हारे से बार बार डाउनलोड मत कर.
The Sensi is here, Sensi, the Sayuri.
Oisan can't attend tonight because he is very busy for the temple's ceremony.
Oh, okay, okay. Under this sutta, we discuss few questions. And today, we are not going to revise whatever we learn, whatever you learn on the last classes. Today, we can focus on some other important points or subjective matters on the sutta. You know that Dhammapada commentary. Dhammapada commentary, that book explained, or this commentary explain of the sutta Panchachinde, one must cut off. You should cut 5. It's meaning that already we discussed 10 fetters. 10 fetters. Do you know what are those 10 fetters? Yes, we know that Sakkaya Ditthi, Vichikicca, Silabbata, Paramasa, Kamaraga, Patiga, Ruparaga, Aruparaga, Mana, Uddhacha, Vichikicca, Avijja. These are 10 fetters. They disturb us. If you do not annihilate those 10 points, of course, indeed, we may not be able to get rid of from this samsara. That is why at the beginning, Sutta says, one must cut 5. It's meaning oram bhāgiya, fetters, oram bhāgiya, fetters. On account of the 5 lower fetters, here, Panchachindi, that it's relates, connect with, on account of the 5 lower fetters. That the lower fetters are Sakkaya Ditthi, Vichikicca, Silabbata, Paramasa, Kamaraga, Patiga. They are all oram, bhāgiya, they called lower fetters, Pancha oram, bhāgiya, saṁyojana, they are called Pancha oram, bhāgiya, saṁyojana. Why we do call, why do you recognize them as oram, bhāgiya or low fetters? Because they bind us, they bind you to the lower world, like miserable places, miserable existence, where there is a suffering, where there is a that awesome, miserable situation, where there is that miserable situation is called the lower existence, lowest existence. It's meaning you suffer. If you born, in such a places, of course, you will suffer. You will suffer a lot. That is why we call they are lower or oram, bhāgiya, saṁyojana. A person would be bound by a rope. Just suppose if you have been bound by the rope with your legs, and having bind with the rope, you are taking towards hell, avicii hell. Then, just suppose for example, then what you do, when such a person cut it, because you are dragging towards that miserable state, miserable life, miserable existence. So that immediately what you do, you try to cut all that rope, it's a bind you with the leg. So that you try to cut down, using or with a sword. Likewise, we have to, in our practice, in our cultivation, through practicing the meditation or other important or relevant practices, we must try to cut off. We have to eradicate, we have to cut down those fetters. Why? Because they fail, if you develop those lower fetters, that saṁyojana leads you towards miserable world. Therefore, the commentary of the Dhammapada, is losing his grim language, common language. He highlighted the fate of unawakened world, awakened world. It's meaning we are. We are unawakened worlding. We are unawakened being. So far we haven't awakened. So far we haven't awakened, even though even you practice, even you cultivate many kinds of practices. But unfortunately, we haven't awakened, so that we are unawakened worldly, unawakened worldly people. So that we have to, so that what happened, you were overwhelmed by those fetters. You were overwhelmed, you were dominated by self identity view, self identity view, spiritual doubt and attachment to the right and rituals, sensual lust, like that. Aversion, these are low fetters. You are unawakened, it's meaning you haven't awakened, you haven't enlightened, even you have been practices Dhamma since long time. So far, you haven't awakened yourselves. So, you were told that our fate is so, what is called is not so good. Your fate is not so good. You are unawake. You are not awakened, so that unawakened world, unawakened people, overwhelmed by those 5 fetters, those 5 saṁyojanas. They are self-identity view. What is self-identity view? How do you name it in Pali? Self-identity view.
Sakkaya Ditti.
Sakkaya Ditti. Sakkaya Ditti. Spiritual doubt.
Vichikitsa.
Vichikicca. Sakkaya Ditti. Vichikicca. And then next one, attachment to ritual and vows and ritual, attachment to rite and rituals. Sayuri, what is that, Pali?
Rituals.
Attachment to rituals and vows or rite and rituals.
Sīrabhata paramassa.
Different kind of ceremony to get rid of from this samsara. Some of us, some of the worldly people, they used to, or they practice different various kind of rite and rituals. That is what we call Silabhata Paramasa. Silabhata Paramasa. Then next one is sensual lust or sensual pleasure. What is Pirako in Pali?
Yes. Kamalaga.
Kama Raga. Kama Raga. Last one is aversion. Aversion. What is it, Mamoru, in Pali?
Fatiga.
fatigue. They are, we call it the lower fetters. Pancha, oram, bhāgiya, saṁyojana. Pancha, oram, bhāgiya, saṁyojana. Therefore, we suffer, we torture in this very life, so that we have to work, we have to practice, we have to develop our mental culture, that is meditation, in order to remove, in order to annihilate or cut down all those fetters from our life. Like a man who get out from the burning house quickly. You know, just suppose the house where you live burned because of some problem. Maybe the electrical issues, because of the electrical or wire cable problems or something like that. Happened, it burned your house. Then what you do immediately? Just you try to escape from that fire. You do act quick. Likewise, we have to get rid of from this sansaric life. In order to that, we have to cultivate, we have to develop our mind, mental faculties. The physical sense are our present, physical sense, it's meaning chakku, sota, ghana, jiva, kaya. They are physical sense. Through those sense, through sense of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, we take many sort of external evil object. So we can recognize our physical sense are our presence. Suppose if you happen to be in the prison, what do you feel? You felt suffer. You are unhappy. You are very unhappy. No satisfaction. In the prison, unfortunately, because of your failure, because of your fault or something done wrongly, you could be in prison. While you are living over there, you don't feel happiness. You are very uncomfortable. You don't have the very comfortable life as you live in your own home. That is why, if you use your sense organ for sense wrongly, in a bad way, unethically, of course, you are like in a prison, because of, if you do act, if you do function your sense organ wrongly, because of that wrong behavior, wrong life, you could get many problems. You could get many problems. Then you suffer. no appeasement, no console. You are not happy, not happy. Therefore, the physical sense are our presence. And five fetters, they are walls. Five fetters, just we talk about those five fetters. They are like walls of your presence. Suppose that is a simile to get understand about those lower fetters. You can have that simile. Just suppose you can consider your physical sense are like a friend. How they build to build up those your prison, your use fetters, five fetters as a wall or pens, bars, because suppose when you do build, when you need to build up a certain hut or a house or home, of course you must have some thing, something like that. You have to have you have to build walls, the bars, that for protection, fence like that. You have to do. Then in your prison, in your physical prison, the walls of the walls or the fence, the bar, different kind of part of the house are like 10 fetters. The 10 fetters help support you to build up that your physical sense presence, because of through this sense, through this 10 fetters, 5 fetters, sakkaya ditthi, vicikicca, sila, buddha, paramasa, you absorb, you get many wrong views, many wrong ideas, wrong behavior. Because of that, you fall into suffer. You are suffering. That is why we have to cut down. We have to cut down. These are called, so that these are called five fetters, five lower fetters. The five lower fetters bind us to the sense world. This five lower fetters bind you to the sense world. Like this, the lowest plan of which is avijji. Avijji, I think you heard that avijji hell. Avijji hell. Because of that lower fetters, if you do not cut down those lower fetters, because of that, we will go through that avijji hell. Avijji hell. That is the lowest plane, the lowest existence of in the human, in the world. If you do not eradicate, if you do not overcome those five fetters, of course we will reborn on such a miserable state. Therefore, the most insidious of these 5 fetters are sensual lust, and its opposite is aversion. The sakkaya ditthi, vicikicca, silabbata, paramasa. The first 3 are easy to cut down. What are the first 3? First saṁyojana, first 3 saṁyojana fetters are sakkaya ditthi, vicikicca, silabbata, paramasa. These 3 fetters can be cut down easily, but here the second, the 4th and 5th is meaning kamaraga, fatigue. Kamaraga and fatigue. Kamaraga means a sensual pleasure, sensual lust, and fatigue means aversion, hateful thoughts. They are the most insidious of these 5. Out of these 5, sensual lust and aversion are very insidious. INSIDIOUS. It is a nature. They work together. They work together by inducing us to glorify our pleasure. They work together. They work together. Sensual pleasure, kamaraga, and its opposite is aversion, fatigue. They work together. They work together by inducing. They work together, and at the same time, what they do, they induce us. They induce us to glorify our pleasure. The kamaraga especially induce, kamaraga direct us, lead us to glorify, to have a, what is called it, sensual pleasure or pleasure and beauty of the physical body. Physical body. If you are very lustful, you are concerned of your beauty. You don't understand. You could not recognize its impermanence. You don't understand anicca, dukkha, anatta. You don't could understand those main 3 characteristics of our life because of that lustfulness, because of that pleasure, kama, raga. We are so attached with that. Once you attach with that, of course, you may not able to recognize things as they truly are. Therefore, we try to glorify our pleasure and beauty of the physical body, and to reject whatever that suggests to otherwise. Also, you don't try to forget whatever disturb our spiritual journey. Suppose you are in a spiritual journey, you walk, you tread on that spiritual path. While you are traveling, while you are treading on that path, of course, you will have some kind of the disturbances, obstructions you will have, but you don't care about that because of that lust pleasure, kama raga, sensual pleasure, and fatigue. Fatigue, it's when you got angry, when you lose your temperature, you may not able to understand reality. That is why they are very dangerous. They disturb us. They obstruct us, our spiritual spiritual walking on that path. It is very good. Spiritual walking. No? Spiritual walking means simply we walk. No, sometimes we organize some event to promote something. No, walking event, peaceful, mindful walking. Mindful walking means you walk up and down with mindfulness. And it is good exercise, no? Early morning or evening, whenever you have the leisure, the time, good time. Yes, so you can half an hour, 45 minutes, so at least 15 minutes. You can walk up and down. That is, you can label it, name it as a peace walking. Some monks, they organize such a thing, such an event, that they walk long distance, many thousands of miles. They walk many thousands of kilometers to promote peace, especially with some Thai monks, some Japanese monk, even some Sri Lankan, other monks. Those who want to promote such an environment in the world, they organize such event. Then they walk. Then the morning they start to walk. While walking, they will have their meals. The people will organize, people offer them their food. Then evening, when they stop, they will leave some places like that. The few months, sometimes they continuously do walk. This is we also can organize, or you can your life, your time, just to walk peacefully in the spiritual work. That is to get understand. Then when you addicted lust, kama, raga, fatigue, it is not so easy to get out from that. Environment, that lustful, or from that sensual pleasure, sensual lust, and fatigue. It is not so easy to get out. Like suppose if you are addicted, some of us we addict with something. No, some of members in the society addict with the alcohol. No, some of you might addict with the Facebook. Without Facebook, you may not live. Like that, they may, that some addiction we have in our life, we maintain. We sustain such attitude in our life. Some are addicted with the movies. That the movies are series of movies, teledrama. You don't miss it, no? even though you are so busy, you may have the more commitment in your life, but you don't miss your series of drama, teledrama, documentary, shows, something like that. Yeah, so addict, So then you are addicted with something. It's not so easy to get out from that, That is like a movie, immersion movie like that. So that sensual lust and aversion relegate us to total dependence on our sense. That sensual lust, aversion lead us that have to find out that sensual, that pleasure. Therefore, it is just like some sort of some kind of addiction, sensual addictions. That is why that sensual lust and aversion, its meaning kamaraga and fatigue, relegate us to total dependence on our sense. Total dependence on our sense. They are so that they are very worst, very dangerous things. Kamaraga and aversion. So that we caught, we are bound, we are caught by that fetters, in our own will. Therefore, please, these two are very dangerous. Others also same, but first three quite easy to cut down, but these two are very difficult to remove, annihilate from our life, because we live in the sensual materialistic life, materialistic society, so that wherever we go, we involve with such a things, so that all set up in the world, in the society, improves, develop our sensual pleasure. When you go to the shopping mall or somewhere, of course, they have built up, they have organized things, the way how to attract, how to get, draw your attention, focusing on their what's called, on their promotions or on their sellings. Therefore, whenever we go out, whenever we involve with the external world, of course, we develop, we sustain our sensual pleasure. Therefore, these two, kamaraga and fatigue, the two saṁyojana, two fetters out of those lower 5 fetters are very dangerous. Therefore, let us try to control. Let us try to minimize, to day by day, in a every possible way. Let us try to cut off, or to remove certain amount of our desires, sensual pleasure, with right understanding, understanding. So first you have to remove the sakkaya ditthi, self-identity view, self-identity view. It is very important, and all are dangerous. The saṁyojana, what we discuss just before, all five lower fetters are dangerous. They disturb us. Then you can eradicate sakkaya ditthi, vicikicca, silabbata, paramasa by attaining when you attain in sotapanna, you wouldn't eradicate those three fetters, three saṁyojana. Once you got understood the first stage of the spiritual path, that is sotapanna, magga and phala. There are two persons, sotapanna, magga person, and fruition. There are two. Then sakkaya ditthi, vicikicca, silabbata, paramasa, kamaraga and ruparaga. When you become sakadagami, in the second spiritual level is sakadagami. In that attainment, once you attain the sakadagami, at that level, you will be removed certain, not completely, certain amount of kama, raga, and what is called sensual pleasure and fatigue, aversion. Then you become anagami. Anagami means sakadagami once written, anagami none written. In that level, when you got that mental level, through that you will eradicate completely kamaraga and fatigue. Kamaraga and fatigue, its meaning, when you become anagami, you will be eradicating those five fetters, completely. Then other five are, what are the other five?
Ruparaga, aruparaga. Ruparaga, then man, and avijja. Avijja. Bhantiji, your voice is not here. We are not hearing your voice.
Here?
Yes.
Then can you summarize any one of you can summarize what you learned today? Just try the 5 minutes.
Can I ask a question?
Question?
Yes.
What is the question?
Bonding with relatives and bonding with money. These fetters comes under this. Which comes under which fetters?
Bonding money. What do you mean by
Bonding
that?
with money means earning more money, desire to earn more money, and to live with the relatives and parents and other relatives, like that.
That is because in our life of course, we need facilities, no? Everyone hopes to live in a comfortable life. Some of you get such a life through your previous merits. Some of you were very fortunate to lead a good life based on your previous life, previous meritorious power. Some of them, you may not have such a life. Then you have to work hard. You have to work hard. Even suppose, though you may have the previous meritorious power, it's meaning you had already once you born in the human life, you had brought it with your karma, But to emanate those previous merits, you must work hard. You mustn't work hard. Then here, under that lustfulness, kama raga means you should not have it unnecessarily. If the level which disturb your the earning which disturb your spiritual journey unnecessary. It's meaning slavery without any other thing for the life. You allocate your time to earn things. That is not life. Righteously. You know that the Anana Sutta, in that particular Sutta, Buddha says that you must have that happiness. In order to accomplish those happiness, you must work hard. You mustn't work hard. Without your work hard, without working, we not able to earn something, but it is once you earn it correctly, righteous way, using the correct righteous method, correct method, then you can enjoy, you can satisfy with those money. Unnecessarily means, that principle taught by the Buddha haven't understood the people in the modern society, because we live in the very materialistic world, very materialistic world. We are in competition. We have competition. We in the world, as a human, we try to surpass others. We try to satisfy in a many ways, but it is that is not the life recommended by the Buddha. The Buddha recommended us to have the very simple, meaningful life. Very simple and meaningful life. You may able to understand. You may be able to understand what is the materialistic life, because you are in the very developed country. I am also here in America. You are in Japan. They are developed country. They have every materialistic thing. What can give you comfort, very luxurious, very, very comfort life. But we must have a desire that it should be the very positive, to get rid of from this samsaric life, to survive life. Buddha also got everything, no? He got all luxurious life. He gave up. All. He abandoned. He rejected all the things. Having rejected all the things, he left. He renounced the world for searching the real happiness, real spiritual happiness. That is also his desire, no? His desire to have the positive happiness, positive way how to get that real happiness, real luxury. Therefore, that is to survive, to lead our life, we must have something. You're not able to get whatever you need free of cost without spending the nowadays in this world. You will not get anything without money, without without spending. So perhaps you must have something, you must earn something, but earn it righteously, correctly, not very greedily, feverishly. That is okay. No, that is not. If you earn, suppose you work sometimes simply just you are very concerned of your earning, but not your other life, religious life, because that is not a life, no. We have to have the very balanced life. We have to material side, that side must be developed, and also at the same time we have to develop spiritual life, which means social life, religious life. That we can categorize our life in a various way, no? Religious life, social life, business life, political life, like that. We can, everything has to balance. We have every field of the life we have to develop in balanced way, and a simple way. Therefore, you have tried, you have the privilege to earn anything, whatever you need, in accordance with your faith, in accordance with your religious life. Okay.
Okay,
Got
thank
it?
you.
Then another 5 minutes, you can have the break. Okay. Next class, let us have another 5 minutes. I will explain today. Next class, Abhidham. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much, Bhante.
Thank you so much. Have a nice time. Good luck
Yes.
for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.